Welcome back to Divinity 648. This is the bedroom conversation for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Uranus, and depending on where your house placement is. It is recorded in November of 2020, but of course it applies as the energy does repeat itself. So if this sounds familiar at a later date, you can revisit this. Okay, Aquarius. Your person or you, depending on where you are, felt a little tied down or a little it's almost like this person is involved with two people, and because of how distracted they have been with you, it's almost like they allowed themselves to be tied down or remain involved with a partner who they just let do whatever they want to do because they're not even thinking of them. It's like they're so busy with their thoughts elsewhere that this other person is able to just tie them up, occupy their time. Um, they're probably spending lots of money or doing things like that, or anything that they want just because they can, and only because that person's mindset was elsewhere. I feel like this person may have gotten someone pregnant, or one of you is pregnant and they're asking you to keep your mouth shut um, for the time being because they are trying to release themselves from what doesn't serve a purpose. Um, there's something about you that makes them unable to think of anyone else, right? And a part of it has to do with the fact that it doesn't matter how unstable the ground is, you stand firm. It doesn't matter what's happening beneath you, you don't lose track of your goal, right? It's like you still try, you still keep going, no matter what's going on around you. A lot of them, somehow, some way, are watching you, right? It's almost like, and this could be different ways, right? This could be they just drop by your house, they could just be talking to people you know, they could have a fake social media account watching you, or if yours is public, they could be constantly looking at it. Regardless, they are heavily attracted, especially to the waist area and the feet, again, with the right foot. This seems to be a common thing. You feed them. Looking at you fulfills them so much that they've decided to put things to an end somewhere else, primarily with the person that they let just do whatever they want. Or it's almost like they would give them what they want again, just so they could go be alone with you. Okay. And this left the other person in that dynamic a little hurt, in a sense that they started to compete with you. They started to do things to themselves to make their physical or overall energy come off more like yours, right? Like, he must love her for this, so I'm going to start doing that. Or, she wears her hair up in a bun, so now I wear my hair up in a bun. And then that person starts wearing their hair down, and now you're wearing your hair down, vice versa. Um, it's almost like you changed yourself, or the other individual involved in this dynamic changed who they were, so that way they could distract or confuse your partner, or try to get that partner to be more invested in them. Um, the other part of this uh, conversation is you just love your person. It's like when they leave, they take a piece of you with them, vice versa. There is a traditional energy here where there could be some marriage, there could be a divorce, there could be just an engagement, but one person is needing to make a choice between two, and he's clearly chosen the one that he allowed to get pregnant. Um, but he's not saying anything about the pregnancy, or uh, it's just recommended not to discuss the pregnancy anytime soon. Uh, Interesting. Um, this is because mentally, mentally, he's still physically involved, mentally and physically still involved with someone. And again, this person does a lot trying to mimic you, um, or the other person. It's coming back up. Okay. So the other side of this conversation is you just love the shit out of this person, and you've accepted things that are beneath you. You've accepted things that are um, uncomfortable to you. You've accepted things that you just don't think you can accept anymore of, but you do it anyway. And this is because physically your person is somewhere else, and it kind of leaves you always and often on your own, right? So you're spiritually unfolding, you're spiritually growing. Excuse me. And when you're by yourself, so when you're by yourself in your natural environment, you kind of just be yourself, and somehow, some way, they're able to see that. Um, And then when they're around, you're a completely different person. You're very sexual towards them. You're very loving towards them. You could still be somewhat cut off mentally or emotionally from them as you had been in the past. But at the end of the day, there's just this very passionate energy between the two of you. Um, and for that reason, a new beginning is coming in a different manner, meaning someone's being sent out the door, and it feels like the person who was tying them down while their mind was somewhere else. And that is because, one, I think that person might have stepped out of that relationship because they felt like they weren't getting enough attention. Or two, he just decided he's ready to go from that situation. And that's when he came towards you and got you pregnant. Interesting. So somebody here feels like a king. Somebody here feels like someone of high stature when they're around their partner. And for that reason, they chose that partner over the other one, and they sent the other one packing. And there is a pregnancy here, or it could be the birthing of another cycle. But if it feels like your twin soul, your twin flame, your twin soulmate, your life partner, right? Because we have hundreds of soulmates. There's a high chance of pregnancy, especially if his preference is to see you naked all the time. He may love the curves around your bottom half, and he likes the way that your knees get weak, if that makes sense. So that's the person that got chosen here. And I know this is supposed to be a conversation, but you guys are on the same level of communication. You guys are on the same path. Yeah, somebody was tying person A down, right? Person B was tying person A down. But the whole time person A was being tied down, they were thinking about person C. And with time, person A realized this and decided to put an end to things, um, or to remove person B from the dynamic, more so because of the way that person C weights the sexual chemistry, the waistline, the feet, the strength that they have. And that's why person A was able to tell person B, it's time for you to keep it moving, right? It's almost like they gave them something to get them going. Um, and they instantly come running towards you, and that's pretty much where the pregnancy starts to step in. And meanwhile, this other person, person B, is just kind of in their head, like they try to compete, they try to mimic, um, you know, person B could have been watching person C on social media, or talking to past acquaintances about person B, getting information, person C, sorry, getting a lot of information on them and trying to kind of outdo them or glow brighter than them to distract person A from being so distant. Um, but the real issue here was that person C just had never ending love, right? It was like forgiveness after forgiveness after forgiveness instead of bitterness and aggression. And people change, people grow. And the person that B and C were growing into, the two different people, as they were growing into themselves, it's like there's no more faking it, right? There's no more imitating it. Clarity settled in, and now person A knows where they want to be. Um, so I definitely see pregnancy, and it's not with the wrong person, or even if it is with the wrong person, that's not stopping person A from pursuing the person that they're in love with. Person A can definitely tell the difference now, whereas before there was a lot of confusion, a lot of deception. I feel like person B may have even stepped out on person A, and I think that was like the last straw for person A to just be like, keep it walking. So this is the bedroom conversation, or at least the dynamic that's coming forward very strongly for Aquarius. You are either the man involved with two different women, or you are a woman who's involved with a man who lives or has a different level of relationship with another individual. Um, and they're no longer staying tied down to the wrong individual. They're pursuing the one who really fulfills them sexually and emotionally, intimately, intellectually. That's the warmth. That's the one that radiates that warmth that they love so much. And you literally make this person feel like this badass king when you're next to him, or vice versa, right? Because the masculine energy could be female or male. Same thing with feminine energy. You definitely have an effect on each other. And at this point, there's no more delays. I think the only delay is waiting for that communication, that clarity to verbally, physically take place on the 3D realm. But it has already happened in all other realms. So we're literally just waiting for the physical manifestation by that person A actually physically saying what needs to be said. Some of you get watched. To be quite honest, some of you are being watched by your person. It's like they're not calling you. They're not, necessarily on the phone with you, but they could be sitting outside your house, like eating a sandwich or something, or I don't know, doing whatever it is that they're doing in their vehicle or at a friend's house that has a clear shot of you. I just feel like they like to watch you. Um, at first, it might have been to see if you were deceitful or if you were seeing someone else. And now it feels more like I can't get enough kind of energy, which is kind of silly, right? I mean, why would you leave yourself sitting outside in a car when you could just knock on the door and go inside? Makes no sense. But I get it, right? To each their own. So this is the conversation for Aquarian energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Uranus. Check your house placements as well. And if you'd like to schedule a private session, all sessions are booked online at divinity648.com.